Close to 100 inches of snow fell across portions of the state, disrupting travel, school, and just about everything else. And it's a problem the farming community is still dealing with. Here's meteorologist Robert Suhr.
It was a lengthy and wet winter across North Dakota, and unfortunately a lot of that moisture remains stuck on North Dakota's croplands. And every day that moisture remains, it could mean profits dry up.
Any day we get behind farther and farther, it's more of a yield drag for us.
That's the reality facing many farmers and ranchers across the state, as many are unable to get their crops into the ground simply because the ground is too wet or completely submerged.
We'll farm around it. It takes some time turning. If the drill's not in the ground, you're not making any headway, but just be careful and try not to get stuck and spend too much time pulling yourselves out.
The USDA says just over 1/3 of North Dakota's spring wheat crop is in the ground, but that's well behind the average where farmers like Corey Schumacher should be by this time of the year.
You know, there's some crop insurance deadlines that we got to get stuff in the ground by a certain date. If not, we possibly have to think about switching up to some different crops. But yeah, and trying to match the maturities, you know, especially if we're doing corn or beans, trying to match the maturities up to get it before the frost gets it.
The Agriculture Department says on average 43% of corn is normally seeded by now, but we're only at 11% this year. And the news gets worse as planting of almost all crops in the state is behind the average pace. Farmer Lucas Lang tells me crops not in the ground now means less cash in his pocket later.
There's definitely an ability to impact yields there. You know, Mother Nature's going to do what it's going to do, and we're just along for the ride. So watch your input expenses and hope it all works out in the end.
He and Schumacher tell me it's become a race against time as more below average temperatures and wet weather is in the forecast for the second half of the month. Reporting for KX News, I'm Robert Suhr.
Both farmers we talked to tell us while it's not the worst, this is turning out to be one of the latest starts to the season they can remember in quite some time.